in health, marriage, business, or any game worth playing, you don't win by winning. You win by staying alive long enough that you outlast everyone else. So I will give you the advice that I gave a subgroup in school that we picked 100 people who had applied out of 500 plus to basically do a 90-day sprint to help them start a school community. So we wanted to do a more in-depth kind of training, things like that for this special group so that we could see if this new implementation yielded better results. And so the guy who we had running the group asked me, he's like, can you give any kind of like words of wisdom to these guys before we kick it off? And so this is what I told them. Number one, follow instructions. Number two, when you reach something that you don't understand how to do, Google first. Number three, when you figure it out, post it. Others also may have struggled. 4, actually follow the rule of 100 daily, which is that you reach out to 100 people, you make a post that you spent 100 minutes on, spend $100 plus on ads, and you spend at least 100 minutes a day making and improving ads and researching ads. As long as you do those things consistently and you get better, you will see results. And the amount of you that I see who tag me in like day 4, day 20, day 30, the guys who are at day 60 of Rule of 100 are like, I have more business than I can possibly handle. The problem is no one sticks with anything. And this is why I want you to stick with it. Rule number 5, you will be excited for a week. Then excitement will end. And that is where the work begins. 6, your work works on you more than you work on it. You are the product that's getting built more than anything that you're actually putting into your business. Remember that. 7, everything is unscalable in the beginning. That's the point. It's how you learn every piece of it. And once you learn every piece of it, people will call you an expert. 8, the pain of repetition is what forces you to seek improvement. When you figure out ways to get more for what you do, you've gained skill. People want to avoid the pain. One of my favorite bodybuilding coaches, Milo Sarchev, talks about this in the context of how to grow a muscle. He says, find the pain. And then he'll just shout, he'll be like, suffer, suffer. He's like, stay there. Find the pain. Because the thing is that pain is what forces you to change. And so if you encounter the pain and then say, oh, it's not working, that's the pain that you need to lean into, because when it's not working is what will force you to do an improvement. And that's how you get good at making better content, get good at making better ads, get good at having more effective reach outs on different channels, whatever. It's that pain that forces you to improve. 9, if you complain, you are dead to me. And I said this because I believe it. Like, there is nothing weaker and more helpless and that has lower agency than someone who simply complains about what has occurred. It's something that happened in the past or is in front of them in the present, and regardless, complaining literally does nothing. It's a net zero. It's a net loss. You both lose the energy that you could have spent improving, and you also lose respect from every single person that you complain to. And they will associate the complaints with you. They won't remember what you complain about, only that you complain. 10, literally thousands of people have already succeeded. You are not special. Repeat the same activities and you will be able to repeat the same outcomes. Before you make a conclusion that something doesn't work, I want you to state the objective truth of what you're claiming. You're like, Facebook ads don't work. Sure, so the $400 billion a year in advertising that gets spent on Facebook just somehow doesn't work. People aren't doing it because it's not working. Cold outbound doesn't work. Yeah, so the gazillion companies that do 10,000 emails, 10,000 calls a day, it doesn't work. What you have to reframe it as is, I don't know how to make it work. I am not good enough to know how to make it work. Because you're not making as much money as you want because you're not as good as you think you are. 11, write down every reason that you're going to stick with it. Put it in front of you and revisit it when you need a reminder of why to stick with it. 12, business is shockingly simple but surprisingly hard. The hard comes in the form of consistency. The moment you don't want to do it or just skip today is the day you realize what hard actually feels like. Learn to endure, overcome. 13, just win. Because at the end of the day, all of this hardship will be forgotten. It will fade into your memory. And so know that as you're going through it, you're actually just going to disproportionately in your memory remember the good stuff and not the bad stuff. I only have a few glimpses in my memory of the time when I was sleeping on the floor and I had my gym and I was getting started, and I remember being so tired that like a good night's sleep couldn't fix it. I remember that. But it's almost like I remember the words that I told myself more than I even remember the experiences because it was so long ago. Things will get better, and you will remember the betterness more than you remember the suffering. If you want to go through the experience of what going through one of these challenges looks like, and you are somebody who wants to start a business or already have a business, either way, you can go join the Skool Challenge for free. It's for 14 days. We walk you through everything that we have. I take calls in that community to help people get their first business online started. We have everything down step by step. Once a month, I drop a full day mastermind training of all the people who are starting communities and making them. We've got it down, like we're pretty good at helping people get to that first dollar. And so you can start for free. Go to skool.com/games, and I'll see you in there.